2 minutes ago, Iranian missiles struck Israel's national water infrastructure. Not a military base, not a radar installation, not an airport. The water. The Mekarot National Water Company facilities that supply drinking water to 4 million people in the Tel Aviv metropolitan area have been struck. The pumping stations are not operational. The desalination infrastructure that produces the majority of Israel's domestic freshwater supply has sustained direct impact. The pipeline network that moves that water from production facilities to the 4 million taps, the 4 million glasses, the 4 million families that depend on it every single day is no longer functioning. And the Israeli government has not told those 4 million people. Not a warning, not guidance on how long the outage will last, not instructions on what to do when the tap runs dry, nothing. The silence that has followed every defensive failure in this conflict, the interceptor silence, the Dimona silence, the warhead silence, the airport silence, has now extended to the most basic human necessity that a government is supposed to guarantee its civilian population: water. 4 million people in Israel's largest metropolitan area woke up this morning inside a conflict that has struck their airports, their nuclear facilities, their military bases, and their cities. They're going to turn on their taps today and nothing is going to come out. And their government knew that before they did and said nothing. That silence is not operational security. That silence is a government that has run out of ways to describe what is happening to its country and has chosen to let its civilian population discover the consequences themselves rather than prepare them for what is coming. In the next few minutes, I will show you exactly what Iran struck, why the water infrastructure was the most strategically intimate target Iran has hit in this entire conflict, what the Mekarot facilities represent in terms of Israel's civilian survival infrastructure, what 4 million people without access to clean drinking water means in the context of a country already under sustained ballistic missile bombardment, and why the water supply strike is the moment this conflict stopped being about military capability and started being about whether Israeli civilian society can continue to function. Before we get into it, thanks for watching. Your support is what keeps this going, and I genuinely appreciate every one of you here. Make sure you are subscribed and like the video so more people can follow this. Now let's get into it. To understand why the water supply strike is categorically different from every other infrastructure strike Iran has conducted in this conflict, you need to understand what Mekarot actually is, and why its continued operation is not a civilian convenience, but a biological necessity for the population it serves. Mekarot National Water Company is the state-owned utility that operates approximately 90% of Israel's national water infrastructure. It manages the desalination plants along Israel's Mediterranean coastline that produce the majority of the country's fresh water from seawater. It operates the pumping stations that pressurize the national water carrier network. It manages the storage reservoirs that provide the buffer capacity between production and consumption that keeps water flowing to taps during the gaps between production cycles. And it maintains the pipeline grid that physically moves water from production and storage to the 4 million residential and commercial